Hey guys, it's just Grievsy here. Today we are starting a new playthrough of Timberborn as we have got our first settlement here. Selected the nice little easy map to start off with, but we're going to progress, turn this place into a beaver paradise over the next few videos. Just got it paused, so we've just started, but need to get some things on the go straight away. So, first thing our beavers are gonna need for this is we're gonna need some water on the go. So, let's just get it so we can see where we're putting things. Let's go for 2 water pumps along this edge here. I think that should be enough for them to start and survive. We also need some wood for them to be able to build anything. So let's path across to the trees and get some lumberjack flags on the go. I think we're going to start off with nice and easy little 2 there. We're also going to get a berry collector. Let's put him down here. So I should be able to get all the berries in this area. And then that should be a good starting point. So let's get these guys actually doing some things. Let's turn up how many builders we have just to start off with so that they can get to work and actually start progressing. Now, in this series, the plan is to complete everything. I've set the difficulty to normal, so there will be droughts, there will probably be the bad tides. I have played this game in my own time, a little bit, not a load, but the aim is I'm going to try and unlock every single thing with the science. I'm going to try and build all the monuments so that we can, in the end, get the Earth Recultivator going, Fountain of Joy, the Bonzia of Bonding, and the Farmer's Monument. We want everything going, and I've already started by not telling the beavers that they need to cut down these trees. So let's get everything in this area going. Let's all in on deforestation. It's going to be a slow little start to the season. Got to get the little things going. Currently have no water, no logs, but that should be getting built up. And we have a bit of food, so we are going to need to upgrade our food storages and our food at some point. So let's get a farmhouse in nice and early. What we're going to do is we're going to put it in this way, and then we'll just have a little path going out to the other side from the loggers. We'll just go all the way across there and we'll connect up the stairs. And then in this area we are going to just choose carrots to start with. Nice basic food. Who doesn't love a couple of carrots? No, I'm a fan of carrots. I was always told as a kid carrots make you see better in the dark. Don't know how much I believe that, but I think there is some science saying that various foods, like, they help your eyes just by being around them. They help you by various foods help you because they do certain things for your eyes. So carrots is probably one of those foods. Just gonna clear out all of this area just so we have a nice big farm area just fully cleared up, so we can have a nice clean farmland instead of working around the trees and the berry bushes. Did put that berry bush gatherer right in the middle of the farm, which probably isn't the best place to put it, but for now it'll do because we still have access to all the other berries. Now we're starting to get a few logs in. We're not filling up on logs, but we are going to run out at some point. So instead of we will need a lumber mill at some point, which will need power. But before that, we would need at some point we would also need a forester so that we can plant more trees. Now, to get a forester, we need to spend science, so let's build an inventor's hut. I like having my inventor's huts like near the sort of, I'm going to say the town hall. It's called district centre in this, but it's in that area. I think I'm going to super low prioritize this one because I don't need it yet. This one can just sort of stay medium. We should be getting some water on the way, which is good. So we're going to need some water storage just so that we can make sure we have plenty for our beavers so they don't go thirsty. Let's just put 2 in there. I'm going to up this one a little bit. It only takes 15 logs, that's not too bad. I'm also going to up the priority of the farmhouse a little bit, just so that those 2 things get built. Hopefully before anything else, just so we can store lots or get lots of other food and start storing some water. We will also do a large log pile down here in the dead dirt by the lumberjack flag so they don't have to walk it too far for now, and we've got a bit of space in between if we want to go behind or anywhere else. As it's the night time, we're just going to fast forward through the night so that beavers can just have a nice little nap before they go back to work in the morning. As the sun rises, the beavers will start waking up and all heading back to work, so we're just going to put it back onto normal speed, and you can see them clearing away various plants in this area. There's a few little ones that I missed, so I'm just going to tell them to dig up all the little bits I did unfortunately miss, and then we can get more carrots in this area, just so that everything here is carrots, so that when we have the farmhouse built, we have food on the way, which will be very good and very tasty for our beavers. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. So just going to go for a little explore. So we've got a bit of a blockage here, which we could potentially at some point remove, but I've noticed this bad water. It's basically all polluted and horrid, which is coming all the way up from this point on the map, which it looks like there's 2 areas it's like filtering from. It goes all the way behind our colony and out. So if we did that, all of that bad water would flow into our nice clean water, which is our air and our drinking water, so we don't really want that. From this side, we've got all our nice clean water. So this area is what we want to eventually sort of build up to. So exploring the map a little bit. We've got plenty of things around. We've got some iron, iron, underground metal we can grab over there. And there is some up here as well, and some in the bad water, so I don't know how much of that I would be likely to try and go for, but it's good to know that it's there. As the water is flowing this way, you can kind of see it gently streaming down. This area here would probably be where I would want to put a dam in or something, just to keep this area nice and clear. But at some point we are going to need what we call power, which I can do from water wheels or power wheels. The power wheels, basically a big old hamster wheel, which you make a beaver run around in circles in, which I think I'm probably going to use to start off with. It's a bit cheaper to build 20 logs instead of 50, and the actual water wheels, obviously being water wheels, need water, but they don't require a beaver to work it. This beaver seems to be sitting around not doing anything. Have we filled up? We have filled up on berries in there, so we might as well try and get let's go for a medium warehouse, and let's put it in next to the wood warehouse, and then we can have that one storing berries, as that's the main thing we've got at the moment. And we probably should have made the large pile, store some logs ready, so that if these guys ever fill up, which it's not going to be very soon because we've still got so many, well, we've not got very many logs here, and we've got quite a few buildings being constructed at the moment. The farmhouse is only needing 1 more log, and then hopefully someone is finishing that off, and we will have a farmer, so who's going to start off by planting. Hopefully our farmer, in their little farm hat, you can see them digging away, planting some carrots ready for us, and in 4 days they'll be grown and ready to eat. So we have start, and we have little cute baby beavers. So just hanging around, watching, seeing what's going on. So now that we've built our farmhouse, our beavers are starting to work on our water storage. So let's make sure we have them ready for selecting water. A few of them are getting a little bit thirsty, and they're not super happy because they don't have shelter. So at some point we will need to build them housing, but for now I think that's a little bit too far along. I think one water pump maybe isn't quite enough for them, so I might just up the priority of the second water pump just so that we have two beavers really making sure that we have water for the colony. And I am just going to down the number of sort of building beavers by one. Has temporarily gone into the farmhouse, but I think between farmhouse and water, that's where food and drink comes from. I think that's probably quite important at the moment to make sure we have them going. So as it's night time again, just going to fast forward through the night and make sure it's daytime. So back to daytime. They're back working very hard again. Still quite thirsty, so hopefully this water pump gets built soon. It needs 15 logs in total, and currently got 7 in there, so it needs another 6. And the sort of second water pump is needing another 4, and at the moment have no log anywhere in any sort of storages. They're all being carried by 2 of our great building beavers. So hopefully that's another 2 logs. Oh, that's 2 in there. The last 2 are in, so hopefully this will finish up being built. And even though it doesn't have a worker in there at the moment, I think I'm going to probably make the farmhouse only have 1 worker, because I don't think we have enough beavers and enough sort of area for the beavers to justify having 2 farmers just yet. So we'll have 2 water pumpers just to try and get the water up a bit, and numbers are going up. We're up to 6 water at the moment. It's a little bit better. Each of these holds 30, so if each beaver used 2 water a day, I have 12 beavers, so if I can fill up one of these water tanks and they use 2 a day, I'll have sort of enough for 1 day in each water tank. And I don't actually know how much water the beavers drink each day, but I think we should, once we have the water tank and these 2 filled with the 15 they can hold each, we should be pretty good for water, and it is going up having 2. So we'll keep building it just so we can have a surplus. I always prefer to have more than I need for things like this, and then hopefully we can start getting maybe, I think, a scientist as our next main priority for a building. Maybe actually they have the storage. I think I looked at slightly for the log storage and for the berry storage, but the water storage is the main priority at the moment. And then hopefully they'll go on to build scientists so we can start researching, so we can replant the trees, because even though we've still got quite a few left, it's better to have someone replanting so we're not deforesting too much, because once we're out of trees, we are out of trees. We do have more back here, and we have all of these that we could chop down to get 2 logs, but for now we're just going to keep them as our emergency supply of logs. I didn't notice, but our water storage has gone in and is slowly filling up. We've still got plenty of water in the pumps, and we've got some water going into the storage, and you can actually see it filling, have water in it, which is a nice little touch. So you know that it's not fully empty, even though from this angle it looks pretty empty. So beavers can come and either go into the water storage or into there. Let's see which way this one goes. Goes into the water storage, get his drink, and you can see the numbers drop down, but we now should be good for having enough water to last us a little while. So I think next things we're probably wanting to work on is, for wood we will eventually need the forester. That does need power, but to build it, we need at least 7 planks. To get planks, we need the lumber mill. So I think I'm going to want to have, I think over in this side, this area, where my power area to be, because I'll be able to eventually build up there with stairs. So we're going to start off with, do I have it against the back wall? And then build forward. I'll do it against this wall because some of them are a bit longer. I'm going to start off by building 2. I'm going to have 1 paused so they don't actually build it. And then for the power, I am going to do a power wheel just so that they can build the logs, and keeping it away from the river, because I think if they have it by the river, then they are going to need to sort of be like in where it's green, and I don't really want to be building where the green is, because that's where I'm going to want to have all my farmland and everything like that. So we've gone through another day. We're already up to day 3. Let's just fast forward through the night. Oh, and 2 of our beavers, 1 yesterday and 1 today, have grown up. So we now have 1 beaver who doesn't have a job. So what we're going to do is we'll just increase the farm is alright. I think we'll increase the amount of builders we have, just so we have 1 extra. I know at the moment we could maybe sort of get another lumberjack flag over here to start chopping some of these trees down, clear this area, which actually I think might be a better use of having a spare beaver. So let's just put a lumberjack flag in there. That gets built almost instantly because they're coming up so close, not quite instantly. Let's make sure someone goes and works in there. There we go. Get someone in and ask them. Let's just slow it down. We'll fast forward straight through that day. Didn't really take advantage of that day, but let's just mark all of those trees to go. I don't really think I want trees in this area, so if a beaver chops them all down, I'm pretty happy with that, and I'll have this area as my trees for now. Went super fast through that day. Didn't make the most of it. I only built 1 thing, but I've got berry storage and things, and log storage in logs, sort of building with them straight away. Hopefully now we can utilize our berry picker a bit more effectively, whilst these carrots are 60% of the way through. So in maybe another day and a half, they'll be done. So on day 6, maybe day 7, we'll be able to actually start picking carrots. At that point, I may empty this and turn it into a carrot storage, and then just only have the 20 or so berries that this holds, just because I think for now berries are useful as an emergency source of food. But if I can start actually having carrots and storing carrots, I think that would be better. So what I will do is I'm just going to change this to carrots now. Where can I find carrots? There we go. Just so that beavers will eat these berries, and then we'll be ready for the carrots straight away. And they're already starting to work on the the planker, I guess, is that what it's called? Lumber mill. Makes planks, nice and useful. So once that's in, I will probably take another beaver from the builders to be a planker, and maybe another one for the power wheel, meaning I'd only have 1 beaver, and have a scientist, and I think I can probably pause the science once I get up to the 30 science I need to start off with. Eventually I will just have scientists going all the time. Some of these get pretty expensive, like 800 science, decorations 600 and stuff, and then the monuments, they're the big ones at 20,000 science, but that's a long way down the road. So for now they can just slowly make up 30, and they currently work at about 1 an hour, and they work for 16 hours a day, about 16 a day. So in 2 days I should have enough to be able to start replanting trees, because these ones, they're getting down. There's like the 2 beavers I have chopping wood here. I'm gonna get through them. All these beavers' names are just auto-generated names, but as you guys subscribe and see your names, I might start renaming a few of the beavers to your guys' names, so that you guys can help in beaver form. So, as there isn't really anywhere other than this area where I'm living that could be flooded by doing one layer of dams, I'm just going to start planning it out. So I think I want a layer of dams across this area of the map, just so that I can make my way eventually across into sort of the opposite side of the river, take up all the space, eventually make it to these ruins. I think they're probably the closest ones, easiest to get to. Maybe not, maybe these ones are slightly closer, but they're all pretty reasonable and stuff. But for that, I'm going to need a path of wriggling around, so I'll probably have to get rid of a few of these berry bushes, which for now, they're still growing, so actually I can probably ask someone to come and rip this berry bush up, and I'll probably rip up a few more to make paths nicer. This is a thing I'm going to probably want to start building maybe sooner rather than later, but at the moment I think I've got enough time that I can just sort of pause it. I want to get the lumber mill going with the power so that I can make at least the 7 planks I need for building the sort of forester. Then I'll probably try and save up at least 10 logs so that I can actually fully get the replanting going. And once I've got the replanting going, I feel like the whole sort of ecosystem of our little world will be able to stay steady and consistent. So I'll be able to have plenty of trees just constantly coming through, and I'll probably be able to plant more berry bushes just so that we always have that emergency source of food. As it sets, the sun sets on day 5. We're just going to let them chill for the evening, fast forward, and then hopefully in the morning people will start making some planks. And as the sun rises, we have a beaver running over to the power mill, and another one taking a log to the lumber mill. So hopefully that will start producing a few logs or planks for us. It can hold 13, so I'll probably just go until that's full, and they don't, because that's only going to take realistically 13 logs for them to have all that I will need for a little while at least, so they can just work away at the logs, carry on chopping a few trees down. So we've also got this one, lumberjack, chopping a few of these trees down, which is slowly getting through them, but he's nowhere near taking all of them. And I now have something that is being stored. I don't have any food recipes yet, but things are slowly coming along. So as we've got, I think, enough logs in this area to sustain, and especially if we can use these ones. Still do need a bit more science, but I think we'll start the process of building the dam. So we're going to have to get a path to the dam. So for now, we're just going to do a nice little scenic trail, I guess, along the side of the river, and hopefully we'll get a beaver to take that bush out. But at the moment, we only have the one beaver who is a building. So let's see, where is he taking a log? He's carrying it somewhere. I wonder if he's taking it to the start of our dam. He is just carrying something. Obviously, all our beavers at the moment are. They could be happier if they had some shelter. All of them are sleeping out, but nothing else at the moment is causing them sadness other than the fact that they're all homeless. So I will probably start thinking about some housing for them. In housing at the moment, I could start doing some lodges. I don't know where. I think lodges. I feel like I'd like to build up here the lodges so that they can have like a nice view over everything. This area I'm probably not going to be able to have so it's green or as a planting area, but for that I would need to have more stairs, because I'm going to set stairs up this area, but not up to this area, and for that I would then need to unlock stairs, which is going to take even more science. So for now, I think I'm just going to go with a couple of houses. Let's have them so they're facing out. One there. I'd have to destroy those trees to fit the second one in, which isn't quite gonna fit just yet. Let's just ask our one builder. He's going to be very busy soon, just to destroy those two trees as well. And he has taken out this berry bush, so we can just add a little path so that our dam can start going in. We'll slow down the water flow in this area. For these beavers, for their power, they have these wind turbines, which are considerably, well, they're not actually that much better. They are 3 times as good as the power wheel I currently have, and a little bit better than the water wheels, but they do take up a little bit of space on land. But I have all of this space up here, which eventually I'll probably just turn into a whole windmill factory. So for now, I think we're just gonna maybe pause, I think, third dam in, so it doesn't go and build past that, so we can start off with a bit of a dam. But for now, we're just going to leave it at that, so we can prioritize maybe getting a house in, because I think having a few of our beavers not sleeping so rough is probably quite a good thing. And for the planks, we're almost at 7. We've got 6 at the moment, and we've got 23 science or intelligence points. I guess they call it science, but intelligence I like. And we now have our 7 planks in there, so I am going to pause both of them so that we can have at least 2 more builders. And as the carrots are starting to come through, I'm going to up it so that we can now have 2 farmers farming away. Is going into night time, so things are going to stop being built, and the science is going to stop. Only could make work for 5 more hours and make 5 more, but I'm not going to make them work through the night. Not yet, it's a bit too early for that. Maybe in a few days or a few weeks time for them I will, but at the moment they're just in survival mode. So we'll just fast forward through the night, let them have a little kip, and we might start thinking about some other well-being things, like a campfire. Let them socialize. Has to be placed on the ground, but we don't really want it to take up too much of the green space, so I'm going to put it next to the district center for now. And it takes 15 logs. At the moment I have a spare 30 logs or so that's alright. And my first house is in, so I have 3 beavers that are not sleeping rough for tomorrow night. Let's just get it back to a nice calm speed. So I think now, hopefully, I'm going to just up the priority of removing these 2 dead trees, and then I can fit a few more houses in, because I have a total of 12 beavers at the moment, and only 3 of them are lucky enough to not be sleeping on the floor outside in the cold. But we're also going to semi up the priority of the campfire, just so that they have some fun in their life. And as they start eating the carrots, that will also hopefully help. Like 7 out of 12 beavers have already eaten some carrots, so I'm getting a little bit of a plus score. I have already unlocked the 9 teeth, but I do want to have everything on here all green, all max for every single beaver. So as I get more beavers, that will get harder and harder. But for now, we can cope, and we can just let them build away. I think both of the 2 of our builders are destroying these trees, which is nice. So let's get ready. Who's going to do it first? Who's going to destroy the first tree to start getting some more housing in? Because these houses, the way they are they have a flat roof, so I could build another house on top, which at some point I probably will. Like this area will be, I will put buildings on top of each other. But for now, we're just going to do a nice row of 4 houses. I don't think I need more than that for now. I just want all my beavers to have a house, and I have noticed I have gotten to the point of having 30 science. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and unlock the forester. It's going to cost me 30 science, but that's okay. And I'm going to put it off to the side here so that it will build. I might move it in a bit. Actually, I think I'm going to move it now. I don't think I like it there. We're going to actually place it one across, but in line, and then we can just expand the path a little bit further. Ooh, not stairs, not got them yet. Just like that, and then hopefully they can start building this. I think I'm going to super high prioritize the planter, and then I can actually start telling him what trees I'm going to want where. So we're going to want a few oak trees, I'm going to say, along this edge. They give quite a lot of wood, but they take basically a month to grow. So I think they do take a while, but I don't need loads. And then I think I can get 2 logs from pines in 12 days, which is what most of these trees are. So I'm going to just also do a nice big strip of pine trees. There is maple trees, which help you get maple syrup. Chestnut trees, which help you get chestnuts, which is food later. Pine trees help you get pine resin, or the birch, which is purely for wood and doesn't take super long to grow. So I'm going to also add a little row of them, just so that we end up having a nice variety of trees. And we have our planter in, so we are going to just pause our lumberjack. Hopefully they go in and they can start planting. I could tell them, I want you to plant all the oak trees first, but at the moment they can do it a bit randomly. I'm not too bothered. They just like them to fill this area with trees, want to make it a nice dense forest, just for the sake of my beavers. But for now, campfire is in. We have people sitting around the fire, enjoying, maybe toasting the tails, maybe not toasting marshmallows, but maybe they'll have some marshmallows later on. As it goes into the night, just checking. One of our houses is close to being built. We have enough logs that I think we could probably build, not quite all of our houses, maybe actually from 4 there, take off 2, just short of being able to actually build all of our houses at the moment, but we still have this lumberjack flag which can chop down at least another 2 trees, so we should be able to finish all of our houses in throughout the next day. It's nearly morning, so we're just gonna maybe medium high prioritize all of them just so that they get nicely built, and then we are going to unpause this dam. So once they've built all the houses, they should start rebuilding this dam, and it will take a little while, but eventually they will have a way across to the other side where we'll be able to probably make this area into either a nice big forest or a nice big farmland. Probably going to eventually make this area another farmland, but for now I think food wise we've got 100 food total, we've got 50 odd water. I think we're okay, and we can maybe store a bit more once these guys, we can just get them so they collect all the carrots, because in this game we do have droughts. Luckily we're a week in to this map for all these guys and all these beavers, and none of them have had any problems yet, and we haven't run out of water. None of them have had a few days of being a bit thirsty. None of them are too bad at the moment. They're relatively happy with carrots, they're happy with sleep, So all in all, we're doing pretty well. Getting the science going so that eventually we can maybe get some stairs so we can go up to this area. But I think the next big thing I'm going to want to work on, what would that be? Maybe some more wood things, get some gears going. What do I actually feel like these beavers need? Like that, all it takes is just a load of wood and a load of science. Not super important at the moment. Landscaping, I could get levees in, so that we can maybe raise the water level even more. Maybe at some point get some dynamite in to blast out here to flood this area, so we have a little lake in there. There are a few things that they like. I think we're going to look at some well-being things that are cheap, like a teeth grinder in case they break any teeth. None of them have done yet, but you never know with these beavers, so I'm just going to put 2 in next to our water storage. For now, they can always be deleted and moved. At a later point, they only take 5 logs, which isn't too bad. They'll go in probably after houses are in, so we've got 2 houses going, and the next one is so close to being done. I think if this beaver has 2 logs, which he did, and hammers away, we might be able to build our 3rd house. Yay! So now we're almost all of our beavers, only 3 of them are going to be sleeping rough, and we're sort of only 11 logs away from having all of them sleeping in a nice warm bed or on a pile of leaves, depending on how beavers like to live. I feel like these ones with their building skills are probably in beds instead of on leaves and moss like real beavers like to sleep. Last house is now built and ready to go, so all the remaining wood that we have is eventually going to go and be part of our great dam. Say great, it's quite a small one really compared to some that get built in this game, and probably compared to what we're going to end up building. So all our logs are going to go into this. It's going to take quite a lot. Let's do a little bit of maths. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We need a total of 200 logs to finish this dam, well, minus the 2 that are already in. So 98 logs, which is going to take some time. I don't think we have that many logs at the moment, but we are slowly building up. Like, if we took down every single tree that was fully grown at the moment, yeah, we would still be considerably short of the 90 that, well, I suppose now, yeah, still not over 90 that we need. But we're going to start planning out for the future. Now, the reason I put in 2 plankers here is because for wood, in the woodworkers, you notice that the gear workshop, it takes planks to build, so you need plenty as well as logs, but the recipe to build a gear needs a plank, and various things down the road also need them. So for wood workshop, for treating planks, to make them all shiny, you need planks. For punch cards, which is for robots, you need planks. Paper, you don't need planks, but you do need to build it. So everything just needs planks, and it's a case of like, oh, well, I need that to build that, and I need that to build that, and I need, as well as other things like for in the metal, maybe not in the metal, but various of the well-being things, you also need planks as well as the treated planks. For like the Fountain of Joy, it needs 400 planks and 100 treated planks. So having almost a surplus is useful. Like the Earth Recultivator needs 2,000 gears and 2,000 treated planks, and each of those items needs a plank. So that's a minimum 4,000 planks you need for that, even though it doesn't need any planks on its own. So having multiple plank lumber mills is useful. So I'm going to start the next one and for the beavers to pass power from building to building, they need to be touching. So, for example, if I was eventually to build the gear workshop, can't at the moment, so I'll just do a little lumber mill. Here it goes as nice light blue because they're all connected, and the power would be shared between. But if I do a gap in between, they wouldn't be connected. The power would not be shared unless I went into power and built a power shaft and connected them like that, which at the moment I don't intend to do. I think I just want all of this area nicely filled, buildings touching each other. But it's good to see all our beavers. None of them are sleeping rough tonight, which is always a nice feeling to see. Still have 5 berries in this area, which means our farmhouse is getting close. But because all our beavers are sleeping, our well-being is going up. Only one beaver is hungry at the moment. One beaver hasn't visited the campfire, but everything else, at the moment, every beaver has done and seen. And that's where, at some points, reducing how long they work will help, because it'll mean instead of it just being the 4 hours after work before they go to bed that they can go to the campfire, they would have a potential 2 or 3 hours in the morning before work starts or whatever, when they could do various activities. This guy, I think, must have been our hungry beaver. This is just run and grab some food. So I'm assuming that may have put it. Oh, yeah, carrots now up to all 12 of them, so he's no longer hungry, which is even better. So, as we're saying, get the lumber mill going, then we can start saving our science. Actually, maybe put the other inventor going as well. Start getting a bit more science on the go so we can get more of these things started. Also going to build another large wood pile. We're going to just put it in this area. We'll put it next to the path, and we'll have that ready for storing planks. Because once we've got a little bit more wood, so comfortably in supply at the moment, so we've only got 4, we'll unpause our lumber and our power, and we'll really try and get our beavers sort of in production mode. Now, to get the beaver population to grow from 12, they need to do some love making. So we're going to need a bit more space in the houses for the beavers so that they can grow their population. So I think as we are in a relatively good position at the moment, yes, maybe we can or could empty out the berries so that we have a little bit more space for carrots, because I think our farmhouse, they're not full yet, but they will probably fill up soon. I'm going to try and empty out the warehouse so that we have no berries, so we can really store plenty of carrots, because I think our farmhouse, they're not full of carrots at the moment, but they are slowly filling up. And as that is going to be our main food source for the start anyway, we're going to want to be storing more carrots in here than we actually need. But so we can grow our population, we're going to try and get a few more houses on the go up here. So let's just ask one of our nice busy builder beavers to remove all of these little trees. I'm not overly fussed which ones they go first, but I think I'd like all of these ones gone, just so that I can properly build a nice little homestead housing area up here. Our second scientist station has been built, so I don't think, but we don't have any beavers spare at the moment for building or for doing science, doing the hard research. So I'm just going to lower the amount of builder beavers I have by 1, because at the moment I haven't got too many big projects on the go, and hopefully they become a researcher and can start expanding their knowledge, and that'll just help us build up our sort of science a little bit more. so that we can really start progressing, because the science is something that I find normally in my games and seasons of playing Timberborn as in the past. Science is the thing that seems to slow down progress the most. We're just going to start off with getting a second scientist going, but they will probably be the first two jobs I pause if things start going haywire and I'm like, I really need some more food. I really need someone else pumping water. Even though at the moment our water storages are both full, although our water pumps are also full of water. So I think all in all they're doing pretty well. Our teeth grinding station is going in, it's just needing one more log, which by the looks of it is probably on its way over now, getting carried, and it is going in. So let's watch this pop up, and I don't think anyone will need it for now, as it sort of helps when they break their teeth, and none of my beavers have broken their teeth yet. But this whole area here, other than these last three trees, all the trees are gone except for two little baby saplings. So for now, I think we're quite happy just having a little area, and on this side, slowly planting up a few more of our trees. Got a few birches on the go, got a few more pines going, and our beavers are even happier than ever. Not entirely sure what finished that. I think it must have been the last beaver went and visited our campfire, and we're going into the night for our 9th night, going into our 10th day. So we made it through double digits with nothing too dramatic happening. Just going to build one small warehouse just so that our beavers can store the berries in there. So I don't have a load of berries, but I just would really like to get them out of this warehouse. So hopefully this one, accepting berries, we'll put it super high priority because it takes 3 logs. I have more than that at the moment, so hopefully they can build this little warehouse, get the berries stored in there, so I can have lots of carrots being stored, because at the moment farm's running out of carrots on this end, but they've already replanted and they're almost fully grown again, and 21 because beavers have been eating them, so I might expand the farm a little bit, but I think if we can have plenty of storage so they're never sitting around not doing too much. Got our 5th house in ready to be built. I think they've been prioritising trying to start getting the dam built a little bit more. I've noticed beavers tend to, whatever is the last thing you built is the thing they try and build first. So at the moment it's log or a little small warehouse. Obviously I did high prioritise that, so that's not quite accurate. I think I missed a path on my dam. Oops. Let's just connect all that up so they can build it all. But next, I believe, even though it's the same priority, they will probably start building the house, because I selected and tried to build that after I built the dam piece. And then they'll probably go back and build this, and then they'll finish off building this. This construction site priority is very low, so they'll only build that if everything else currently to be built has been built. Let's get it so carrots can be moved into our warehouse, and then hopefully more beavers will keep eating them and our farm will keep going and producing plenty of carrots. 83 days until it's fully grown, or 83% of the way to being fully grown. That's over 3/4, so one more day and these first ones will start being grown. Hopefully they can finish harvesting all of these last few before these ones are fully grown, just so we have a constant cycle through of our carrots. All the trees in this area have now been chopped down, collected. I am going to demolish the lumberjack flag. It will drop the 4 logs that are in the pile, or even stored there, into a nice neat little pile of logs there, which will eventually get picked up by the builders when the builders think that they're in need of logs. I'm just going to keep this one lumberjack going for now. So we've only got 2 trees left here. Hopefully these ones, 30% of the way there, they're a third. So out of the 7 days, about 2.5 days, so about 4.5 days left to go. Still quite a way, but compared to these big oaks, take 30 days. That's a long ways before they're built. So hopefully that these trees can start really coming through. I am going to actually prioritize the planting of the birches now that I've got a few logs in and a few pines, just so that lots of these ones can be in and replaced quite quickly. They only give 1 log, which isn't the best. I would ideally prefer them to give more, but for now I think just having a nice constant supply of logs, even if it is only sort of 1 at a time, is better than not having any. I'm also just going to go fill in all the little gaps so that everywhere, don't think I selected enough, hoping that everywhere in this little area will eventually be covered in oak trees and ready for our beavers to chop down. That's looking better. Maybe 1 spot I missed, but 1 fewer oak tree isn't too much of a disaster. I believe our beavers are actually prioritising building the dam over the housing. I'm actually going to up the priority of the housing ever so slightly, just because I think I'd like to have a bit bigger of a house in situation than I currently do. I'm also going to up the builders, as having got rid of this lumberjack flag, I had a slightly spare job. But as it's night time, fast forward, I think get through the night, ready for the next day, where they'll hopefully build this house and we can start growing our population ever so slightly. It's an extra 3 beavers will make quite a difference for the amount of jobs. You can maybe expand the farm, have an extra beaver in there, and get the power logs, not the logs, the planks going at a nice sort of more steady rate. But now the house is going in. Let's select the right house. Halfway there, but we have actually run out temporarily of logs. We don't have any in any buildings for storage at the moment, so we do need these birch trees to hurry up and grow so that we can actually do anything at the moment. It's everything in this game revolves around having the logs and having water. But you need logs for almost all of the buildings except for metal, but that's a long ways off. So for now, just gotta sort of hurry up and wait whilst the trees slowly grow and come back. In May, checking the range, I can actually start maybe getting him 1 logger to chop down the trees in this area. Can reach all of them he can, so he'll go chop them down. It's kind of the emergency supply, but it's a few more logs, and in that area there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just in that one strip there's 10 logs, which is enough to finish the house. Actually 2 would be enough to finish the house, so getting a few more in is always a good thing to do. Farmers there seem to be doing pretty well at harvesting, so I'm actually going to have them back into planting mode just to really fill this area up with carrots so that they can keep growing and self-harvest as they go. For now, I think 2 is about the right number. Doesn't mean our beavers are sitting around doing nothing. There are not really many places I can take them or ask them to go to instead, because it's all just being done, cleared. So actually what I might do, your range is pretty good, so what I am actually going to ask him to do is plant some berry bushes in a strip down here. as the emergency food supply. We'll go 5 wide, and we'll just leave it 1 shy of the water. As you can see, he's getting through planting quite well. But with that, I am going to clear all of this area from berry bushes, so our builders have something to do. But so I can also later on expand the farm out this way, and I think eventually this entire sort of side of the path is going to be farmland, and all of this side is going to be the sort of the trees, the berry bushes, and I suppose the other crop that can be planted is the dandelions, which I'm not entirely sure what the dandelions do. One of our beavers has broken their teeth, so he is using the teeth grinder to make sure they are nice and pretty again. So these teeth get fixed. It is going down slowly, but it just means that cutting chance is down quite a bit, which basically means I believe it was one of my lumberjacks, having broken teeth means can't really do their job, which does not help the colony. In saying that, our last house is in, so some of them have a spare bed, and if they have a spare bed, there can be an extra beaver born to fill the space, which is always a nice little sight to see, having little baby beavers running around. As it's night time, let's speed up through the night and into the next morning. I do love watching all the beavers leave and run away or run down the paths to get to work. They're all very good, disciplined beavers, sticking to the paths and not going around leaving it wandering haywire. But for now, we've got our beavers building. I am going to preemptively, before I block it too much, get a gatherer flag on that one spot, just so that they can collect all the berries that are in this area without it being a berry bush and having to remove one later on, when my builders are probably going to be a little bit more busy and won't have as much time for sort of clearing things like they do at the moment. 3 spares. But I think we're getting a good bit of success going for now. I think we're going to have our lumberjack, instead of prioritising birch now, going to get the oaks going, because they do take a long time to grow. As you can see, 6% of the way, and it's been a while since they've planted the first few. Haven't even made it through 30 days of this sort of period yet, and that's how long these oaks take to fully grow and mature. For now, they can just go, and our builder's slowly gonna keep making the way along the dam, building it. There's sort of 3 in. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to go before everything is in. But our science has now made it up to 100, which means I believe I now have enough to unlock the gear workshop. It's another building that does need power, so I'm going to add it onto the end of my line here. Could do it back, but at the moment, just going to have it so it's nicely connected, and then if I need anything dropping down off there later on, it can do. Which would mean to finish or to build it does need planks. So at some point, I'm going to have someone building planks again, or making planks. For now, I don't really have the logs to make into planks, partly because all beavers, all the trees that are growing, are getting turned into our dam, which for now I think isn't too much of a problem. Now we have 90 water stored, and we have 150 or 140 odd food. Carrots are still going in up ever so slightly. I think we're going to want a little bit more water storage. Now for water storage, medium tank takes planks and gears, but it does store 10 times the amount of water. So if I could have 10 mini ones of these, or I could have one large or one medium, and then the large stores so much more, but that needs metal, which is a very long way off. But as I haven't got the science yet, I'm just going to build one more small water tank. Going to up the priority of that just because I feel like I would like to have plenty of water storage on the go. And I think I'm going to let my beavers build a few other things before I finish this dam, just because the dam taking 20 logs a piece is very, very log intensive. So for now, I'll let them see how they feel about finishing this dam, and then I'll probably get them build the water storage and maybe a few of these buildings in the back. Or log pile. Maybe the gears can wait a little bit longer, as whilst we're still short on logs. Like, that is slowly changing as these will grow, and like once these start coming through, it'll be a case of however many our little forester plants a day we'll be having. For now, it's getting there slowly. Just going to up the priority of maybe this side of the sort of crops to remove, and then sort of slowly work the way down, just so that I can expand the farm by an extra set of carrots, because we are now out of farming space. So we are going to plant an extra row of carrots. I think it doesn't hurt to have more carrots than needed. I think the only time that would hurt is if everything failed and sadly died on us. But at the moment, I think we're in a good enough position that the carrots aren't going to die out. If we do have a drought, they might dry up and taking longer to plant them, but I can then just say, hey, we'll harvest the carrots instead of planting them. So we had 2 baby beavers born throughout the night, and we have our first drought approaching, but our 2 baby beavers have gone to the campfire because the babies are not allowed to actually play by the fire. But we also have a first drought approaching, so in 2.8 days, so on the day 14th, 15th, 16th day of cycle 1, all the water sources will dry up. So good job, we have started to build this extra water storage, so that if things dry up, we should hopefully be able to fill it up with the water from in these and be able to actually have plenty of water. And no, our first beaver has died of old age. We had births on one night, and then the very next day we had 2 beaver die. Life comes in and life goes out. It's very, very sad. Luckily, he didn't see the drought. He only lived through the good times of water. Probably sleeping rough under the stars did not help his old age. Last water storage is in, so hopefully that can get filled up before it's already getting filled up slowly, before the drought actually approaches and hits us. Our beavers are still building this dam. They won't be able to finish it before this drought starts in 2 days. So I think I'm going to conserve the logs a little bit. Try and get these trees to grow a little bit more. They are drought resistant for 11 days. So as long as this drought happens isn't 11 days, which would be pretty much the entirety of how long we've gone so far, we should be okay. And the carrots are only drought resistant for 2 days. So if this drought is more than 2 days long, pretty much all of these carrots will die. But luckily we have a bit of a surplus. We have 59 in storage, and we have 9 in the farmhouse. Ideally, we'd have more, but we do also have plenty of berries at the moment. We also have this gather a flag, which I don't think we need both of them, so let's pause both of them because at the moment we don't have any berries going. The berry bushes are drought resistant for 9 days. So at the moment we've got 2 unoccupied beds. Every beaver has a job. None of them are unemployed, but we don't have any spare jobs going, which I think is a pretty good position to be in. Once they finish building this dam, if they finish building this dam, I'm not sure if I want them to. Why are you hungry? Go eat some food. And I don't like that. Beaver will die soon. That isn't very reassuring at age 13. It means you work 50% slower when you're hungry, so hopefully you're gonna go and grab some carrots. Yes. And fill up your hunger. Maybe go get some water. Because they are having to walk a long way to get to various places, it does mean that they do use up their energy, and don't have the ability to snack in the day, maybe as much as, say, the farmers can, or the water pumpers, having their downtime. But for now, I think the beavers are doing relatively well. We'll have to see how this drought affects everything, but for now, we've got the downpours. They're just going to try and finish this one, and probably build our log pile, and when the drought hits, I'll probably start actually making some logs. So we're just going to fast forward until the drought actually arrives, because at the moment I think everything seems to be running nice and smoothly. So the drought is just about to start, so if we look over at the water sources as the drought starts, oh, because I have it on fast, all the water just disappeared. That was way quicker than I was expecting it to be. That was it's far too fast. But it also means we just go back onto normal time. Everything is starting to die, but some of our trees have just grown. They die in 10 days, but the drought only is going to last sort of 3 days in total. So that does mean our carrots are going to die. So we're just going to get them all harvested for the ones that have fully grown. The ones that are going to, these ones, they're going to die anyway. They won't carry on growing. But we can start making some planks. So we need more planks for this. So all our spare trees are going to go into planks at the moment. And what we're going to do is, instead of taking out of the water pump, even though that would be a useful thing to have beavers doing, we're going to actually have them taken out of the builders, so these guys can start making planks and just build up a bit of storage. And the one builder can sort of take them probably from the plank workshop to the gear workshop. With everything, with the drought, everything kind of comes to a bit of a standstill. The science and the research, they can keep going. The lumberjack, the log maker. The lumberjack will keep cutting down the trees that are available for him to cut down, which is actually currently only about 2. So until we get the dam going or fully built in, it's gonna stay sort of relatively slow progress, slow going. Hopefully all the carrots get picked throughout the day. Not too much else. I could just ask people to come and chop all these trees down just so I have plenty of wood, but I think at the moment I want to keep them as my little emergency area, because this is slowly getting built and not in a massive demand for logs at the moment. So yeah, let's just hope that nothing bad happens. We have plenty of water. Do not have a super high amount of carrots. I would probably have preferred to have more carrots going into this, but between the 2 poles, berry collectors and the berry storage, we do have like 70 odd berries, so I think we should be okay to last these next 2 days. So we're just gonna let the beavers work away. Might actually turn down the work hours just to a nice short 12-hour day for them. Well, not nice working 12 hours. Done it a few times in my life, um, mainly in overtime shifts. My normal days are 10 hours, so going from 10 to 12 isn't too much of a step up. Let the beavers have the afternoons off, and just faster forward throughout the evenings and probably till the end of this drought, because at the moment we just want them to survive, and I think we're not got any big projects on the go, so we'll just let them do their thing throughout this drought. So we have enough signs for the medium water pump or water tank. I am going to unlock it because the beavers, they have emptied the first two water tanks, and the last one is getting low. We have 12 more water left. Luckily, as the day comes to an end, the water is gonna come flooding back into the colony as of hopefully midnight or first thing in the morning. So let's watch the water come back flooding in, and we'll plan where we're going to place this medium water tank so that hopefully next drought, if it's as long, we will not end with only 12 water. Here comes the water. The grass is starting to go green. Where's the actual water? There it is. It's coming, slowly flowing. It's not really wanting to flow as much as I would like, a bit faster, but as it comes over this waterfall, I didn't realise there was caves in behind that waterfall. That is something that will take a little bit of exploring later on. There's probably some hidden tunnel off the map, maybe not in there, but there's something in there to explore later down the road as the water comes back. Hopefully that means as the dirt goes back all muddy again, we can start planting our trees, we can start letting the trees grow again, start replanting all the carrots because a lot of them did die. Most importantly, we can start pumping the logs and getting the water back in. So, as a plan, I would like to put it a medium water tank here. That would require us to remove the two we currently have. Do we get rid of these two? Let's just pause whilst we think. Because we need planks and gears to build it. 30 planks, 20 gears. So that's effectively 50 planks, which is effectively 50 logs to build it. At the moment, we don't have a massive supply of wood to be turning into gears and into planks. So at the moment, I think for the safety of the colony, we're gonna plan the medium water storage a bit further up the road, a bit further away, and maybe down the road. We can get rid of these small ones for the big one, or maybe even the massive one later on. But for now, I think we have a plan. Build some water, get some gears on the go for the next episode. But as we made it through our first drought, I think I'm going to say thank you guys for watching. If you have enjoyed, please feel free to subscribe. It will really help me out. And we'll hopefully see you in the next one. See ya. Yeah, it can be district.